Welcome to the battle of compact flagships. I have with me the iPhone 15 and the Galaxy S24, both of which retail for a similar price of around $799 in the US or around 80,000 rupees in India. So, which one's better then? It's always fun to indulge in the iOS versus Android battle, so let's start. I know you guys probably must be thinking that I'm a little late for this video, but Samsung recently pushed a big update solving some minor and a lot of major issues on the S24 series, which means now is actually the best time to bring this video. So let's begin. Okay, let's talk about the design first, since this is my favorite thing about these two phones. Both these phones are super compact, super lightweight, and super handy to use. And I don't know if you've noticed, but year after year, Samsung has been shifting to a more boxier form factor like the iPhones. I am not complaining though. I actually like these flat size and lack of curves on the Galaxy S24. I also prefer the minimalist camera module setup of the S24 a little more than the more prominent cutout on the iPhone 15. Okay, in terms of build quality, both of these have a glass body with aluminum frames and matte finish on the back. The S24 features the Gorilla Glass Victus 2, while the iPhone 15 comes with ceramic shield protection, so they both should endure a good amount of impact. Likewise, you get IP68 dust and water protection on both these devices, but I have to tell you that the S24 can only be submerged in water with a depth of 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes, while the iPhone 15 can do so in waters up to 6 meters deep. So that way, the iPhone 15 has a little advantage here. Another perk that the iPhone has is this mute switch, which can come really handy. Other than that, the overall designs on both these phones are amazing, so no complaints. Even display quality wise, there is very little to complain here. Just a few days ago, Samsung has also fixed the dull display issue here, so now you can make its display look vivid again from the display settings. So overall, both these displays are fantastic, be it for content consumption or regular usage for that matter. However, you do get Dolby Vision support on the iPhone 15, which is missing on the Galaxy S24, but that does not take away the fact that the S24's display quality is excellent, and both these displays are bright enough in every possible situation as well. Normally, in indoor conditions, both phones reproduce similar brightness levels, while outdoors, the S24 is slightly brighter. Nonetheless, visibility is not an issue on either device, so let's move on to the area where I have a little problem, which is this 60Hz refresh rate screen on the iPhone 15. In comparison, the S24 has a 120Hz refresh rate screen that feels way smoother. Also, the huge notch on the iPhone 15 is a lot more obtrusive while watching content than the tiny notch on the S24 that is hardly ever noticeable. I know the dynamic island is useful on its own, but while watching videos or scrolling through the web, I have found myself noticing the S24's notch a lot less than the iPhone 15. And credit where credit's due, Samsung has trimmed down the bezels on the S24's display beautifully, while you still get prominent bezels on the iPhone 15. So it's fair to say that Samsung has done a better job at the display side of things than Apple here. On the performance side, it's the iPhone 15 that takes the crown straight away. Last year, the entire Galaxy S23 series featured the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, hence there was very little gap between the actual performance of the iPhone 15 and the S23, but this year Samsung has let us down by going with the in-house Exynos 2400. Looking at the benchmarks, Exynos still is a powerful chipset, but I found its thermal capacity and efficiency to be nowhere near the A16 Bionic or the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for that matter. Even after the recent February update, I found that the S24 tends to heat up badly in extreme conditions like shooting a 4K video in the sun for around 30 minutes. Just look at the difference in temperature among both these devices here at this table. It's mind-blowing, isn't it? And it gets scarier because summer has not even started here. Besides this, even while gaming, the S24 heats up, and running benchmarks makes it reach a peak temperature of 46.8 degrees, while after all the iOS updates, the iPhone 15 has very favorable thermals. You will also get better stability and gaming experience in the most demanding games on the iPhone 15, be it Genshin Impact or PUBG or any other. But there are a few things that I wish Apple did not neglect on the iPhone 15, like the inclusion of a faster USB protocol. The iPhone 15 comes with USB 2.0, which means that file transfers on it are slower than the S24. So copying files to my desktop or SSD, it's much more faster on the S24 than on the iPhone 15. Also, I like the haptics on the S24 more than the iPhone 15. Now, this could be a debate, but the overall implementation of vibration is slightly better on the S24, be it while typing, ringing, or interacting with the UI. I don't mean the iPhone 15 has horrible haptics, but I like the S24's vibration a little more. Now, speakers, on the other hand, sound fuller on the iPhone 15. The S24 also has great speakers, no doubt, but the output from the iPhone 15 is a bit crisper, in my opinion. Alright, moving on, the software side of things on both these phones is purely a matter of choice, as always. You know, the ancient question of which is better, Android or iOS. There are some things that Apple does better, like app optimization and overall fluidity in the UI, etc., while customization is something Apple is highly restrictive of. So as I said, it's what you prefer or which ecosystem you use. Update-wise too, both Samsung and Apple are on the same page now. Until last year, Samsung only provided 4 years of OS updates, but this year they have upgraded it to 7 years, which is just insane. Apple, as we already know, provides 6 to 7 years of updates on all their launches, so it's safe to say that both companies are on the top of their game here. A slight plus for Samsung is the nifty little AI features like a live translation, circle to search, etc. that I have been using on a daily basis. Alright, so let's talk about the cameras now, and disclaimer, I don't have the best news for the Samsung fans out there. I don't know if it's because of Exynos's weak image processing or something else, but I found the camera performance to be weaker on this year's regular Galaxy S24, at least weaker than the iPhone 15. Starting with the selfies, if you look right here, you can see a little weird yellow tint and lack of proper details on the S24. The thing is, Samsung tries to brighten the skin a little too much, which sometimes results in blown highlights and unnatural skin tone. Likewise, in more than one instance, the S24 was not able to lock focus in close-up subjects, while the iPhone 15 lets you go way closer. Other than that, I found the normal daytime images to be pretty neck and neck on both devices. There is the classic cooler tone in Samsung's photos, while the iPhone, just like every other time, produces warmer pictures. Sometimes iPhone's output for me looks better, while the other time Samsung's photos look more pleasing, so it's actually very difficult to choose. The certain thing, however, is that the iPhone 15 produces better contrast than the S24, and in many situations it has also managed highlights better. When it comes to ultra-wide photos, you can see that Samsung is able to maintain slightly better details. Color tone and everything is very similar as the primary lenses of both these devices. During nighttime too, like with the daytime images, you can see the cool versus warm tone, but now Samsung is able to maintain slightly better details. I found the ultra-wide-angle images during nighttime to be especially better on the S24, be it in terms of exposure control or noise reduction or sharpness. Portraits are also something that Samsung has improved a lot since the last update. Now you can get some really nice skin tone and color reproduction in S24's images. The iPhone 15, on the other hand, tries to keep things natural, which is not a bad thing, but S24's 2x and especially 3x portraits look very pleasing to the eyes. Although the detail level and edge detection of the iPhone is better. So I'm going to leave it to you guys to decide whether you like a slightly brightened output or you favor a natural tonality. In terms of videos, first of all, I have to tell you, Samsung has come a long way with the S24. You can shoot some nice videos with nice colors and stabilization, but then again, the iPhone 15 has a different level of smoothness and crispness in its videos, which is superior to the S24. Especially during nighttime, the iPhone 15 is able to reduce the noise very well and the footage is a bit sharper. The S24 struggles a bit to maintain exposure too. And if you look at this selfie video right here, you will see the degradation in quality on the S24 when you shoot at 4K 30 FPS versus switching to 4K 60 FPS. So yeah, you will get a lot more reliable camera performance from the iPhone 15 in comparison to the S24. Yes, the S24 does have slightly better ultra-wide-angle camera, and there's this extra 3x lens which you can take better zoom shots and the 3x portraits as well, but overall I found the iPhone 15 to be doing a better job. Finally, let's talk about battery life. This year we get a slightly bigger battery size on the S24 than last year, but sadly battery life has degraded a little bit. I was getting around 5.5 hours of screen on time on the S23 with regular usage, but on the S24 that number has gone down to 5 hours. Again, not pointing fingers, but maybe Exynos has something to do here. On the iPhone 15, however, I have been getting around 6 to 7 hours of screen on time, which is not a surprise considering its 60Hz screen and the fact that Apple's A16 Bionic is very power efficient. I wish I could say the same about the iPhone's charging speed though. With the 20-watt charging support, the phone takes more than 90 minutes to fill up. The S24, on the other hand, does not have a faster 45-watt charging support like its bigger siblings, but still with its 25-watt charging support, it charges slightly faster at around 75 minutes or so. Alright, so time for the moment of truth, and I am going to be very straightforward here. I know with all the heating of the Exynos and all, the S24 does not seem like the best value for Android users, but if you're someone who does not play a lot of games, for normal usage, this phone is completely fine. It's got a great design, nice set of cameras, the display is to die for, and of course you get all the AI features here. The iPhone 15, on the other hand, besides its 60Hz display, for me is an all-rounder with the best performance in its segment, more reliable cameras, better battery backup, and a stable, cool performance. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but for me, the iPhone 15 is just a better overall package. And what's also important to know is that with the iPhone 15, you're going to get a better resale value and exchange value, and it should also perform slightly better in, say, 3 or 4 years' time. So everybody, that was all for my full comparison of the iPhone 15 and the Galaxy S24. I hope this comparison made your purchase decision easier, and if it did, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and while you're there, don't forget to hit that notifications bell as well. I'm Pratima, and I will see you in my next video.